Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in this week's top stories, Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital and the Mateo Super Health Center in the Philippines sign a cooperation agreement. Tzu Chi volunteers and TIMA members visit care recipients in Kuming following a winter aid distribution. And U.S. Tzu Chi headquarters and West Toronto Liaison office hold year-end celebrations. In the Philippines, the government of San Mateo Rizal have long lacked an adequate budget to look after the health of their residents. Fortunately, a cooperative agreement was signed between Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital and the San Mateo Super Health Center. Tzu Chi will provide rabies vaccines and a 3-year supply of tuberculosis medicine, in addition to training local healthcare workers in San Mateo.
The San Mateo Super Health Center is filled with mothers and their children. Knowing each child who suffers from tuberculosis will receive 6 months of medicine, the mothers are grateful.
Pasalamat po ako na nabigyan po kami ng...
I am very thankful I could receive 6 months of medicine because these medicines are expensive. It's not something I can afford. So I'm very grateful to the Tzu Chi Foundation for giving this to me.
Tzu Chi Foundation.
In San Mateo Rizal, there are 5 doctors looking after approximately 230,000 people. Each year, the medical budget is only 15% of the total budget. Dr. Li Renzhi, who helps eradicate TB in Hualien's remote villages, immediately knows where the problem lies.
Tuberculosis is a disease that can be cured by medication. If patients take proper dosage, 95% of the time they will have the disease under control. However, the local government is often under financial pressure, so at times they don't have the ability to provide enough medicine for all those in need of it.
Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital is providing the local government with 3 years of TB medicine and training for healthcare workers to help them carry out directly observed treatment short course to help eradicate the disease.
We will train healthcare workers to observe patients take their medication every day. To cure tuberculosis, it's important for patients to take the dosage for 6 full months.
Besides medicine for TB, Tzu Chi is also providing 200 rabies shots each year.
Heavily burdened by the incidence of animal bites, the victims reach more than 2,000 in a year.
Help us in technology, in modern systems, in training doctors, in training hospital staff, in professionalizing the healthcare system based on the Hualien system. So I think I'm very confident that
this collaboration is only the beginning, as there are plans to extend this partnership to more medically deprived areas.
I'm sure the poor, the sick, and the suffering in the Philippines will get all the help they need under this MOA.
This partnership of health organizations also helps strengthen the friendship between the two countries.
In Myanmar, Tzu Chi volunteers have extended their assistance to local farmers in the aftermath of a flood, while in the Philippines, local volunteers have been helping the residents affected by Typhoon Haiyan. Recently, more than 100 residents from the two countries who have received Tzu Chi's assistance have officially started their training as Tzu Chi volunteers, ready to pay the love forward.
Humbly receiving their gray uniforms and putting on their Tzu Chi caps, residents of Ormoc in the Philippines are present at a commencement ceremony for volunteer training. In the aftermath of Typhoon Haiyan, these 62 residents all took part in Tzu Chi's Cash for Work programs in rebuilding their local community.
Salamat sa Tzu Chi Foundation na napunta rito.
Thank you, Tzu Chi, for coming to Ormoc. If you hadn't shown up, my life would not have changed for the better.
Ibang-iba na kaysa ngayon dahil
Typhoon Haiyan devastated Ormoc, but it also gave Ormoc residents an opportunity to rebuild. After the city's transformation, Ormoc is full of energy. The residents, who were once victims themselves, are now helping others in need.
The volunteer organization here is very good. They are always ready to help those suffering.
These residents are not just rebuilding their homes, they are also enriching their spirits and learning to live a more positive lifestyle. Marking a historical moment of Tzu Chi's missions taking root in Myanmar, volunteers officially put on their name tags at the Bogyok Onsam Park.
I am so happy to be able to officially join the Tzu Chi family.
When Tzu Chi handed out rice seedlings to help farmers in Myanmar rebuild their harvest after a severe flooding, the organization thus began a lifelong unbreakable friendship. On this day, 96 people are beginning their Tzu Chi path by joining the volunteer training course. The younger generation can also join in the efforts.
The things I can learn in the volunteer training are lessons I can apply to my life, my community, and the society at large.
With a pure heart, good deeds are easily carried out, as everyone donates a handful of rice to help the less fortunate. Myanmar farmers embodies the true Tzu Chi spirit of giving.
In China, Tzu Chi volunteers have been braving the cold to bring winter supplies as well as spiritual support to those in need. Tzu Chi volunteers recently traveled to Longjiang to promote Jingsi aphorism. Meanwhile, Tzu Chi volunteers in Siyang, Jiangsu also brought winter supplies to some seniors in need.
After a night of heavy snowfall, the roads are now blanketed in snow and volunteers are working to clean them. The snowfall has stopped the expressways and bridges can't be crossed. Plans for the distribution calling for 600 volunteers face serious adjustment. Due to the heavy snow, many volunteers have no wage to reach the designated distribution site. But with serious effort, each available volunteer is doing the work of 10 to distribute the care packages. As the senior's eyesight is not so good, Tzu Chi volunteers kindly and carefully accompany him back to his room. Not only are senior citizens looking forward to the aid distribution, a third-year high school student, Chen Mongyue, has also come with a heart of gratitude.
为什么特别做这个？因为感觉你们冬天来是吧？就那么的冷的天，还给我们父母想，所以就特别做这样子。这个垃圾。
This is the third year that Chen Mongyue has come to assist Tzu Chi volunteers. Even with her busy class schedule, she has still taken time to make these lovely paper flowers. In this cold weather, this young student's sincerity brings a bit of warmth to the hearts of the volunteers. In Guangdong's Liangcha, many furniture manufacture covers over 10 kilometers. In the last decade, the economy here has been developing quickly. With increasing material success, the community hopes to cultivate its spiritual well-being as well. While Tzu Chi volunteers are in Liangcha village to promote Jingsi aphorisms, the village head states that this is an auspicious event for the whole village. Hence, all of his staff members have joined the event.
Filial piety is a virtue of our Chinese heritage. After studying these aphorisms, our village will definitely be influenced in a positive, harmonious way. We can't be distracted by petty things.
As the village changes in the years ahead, the natural environments as well as the spirit of the community members must be kept pure. With the help of Jingsi aphorisms, a harmonious atmosphere will prosper here.
After finishing winter aid distributions in Yunnan, Tzu Chi volunteers in Kuming, along with 2 doctors from Tzu Chi hospitals in Taiwan, visited some care recipients and spread some cheer in the community.
The doctor makes a visit and rubs some Vaseline onto the hands of Chao Yanlan, who is blind in both eyes. Miss Chao then introduces her 8-year-old daughter.
When she was little, she could talk, but as time passed, she just stopped talking.
The daughter makes sounds but won't speak. However, she responds happily to the affection and care shown by Tzu Chi volunteers.
Since I used to work with a child care group, I think that giving kids enough happy experiences, giving them happy memories to keep, that should be a daily aim for raising children.
Helping Miss Chow with her hat, Tzu Chi volunteers suggest taking a walk to visit the neighbors, which will be good for her autistic daughter. Meet Zhang Xiaolong, who has suffered from ankylosing spondylitis for over 10 years. Despite his condition, he is living happily, making handcrafts to earn money. The doctors took the chance to observe.
都很专心在做这东西，你就忘掉你的知识。
会的，有时候会。
要不要弄个闹钟？
As the doctors remind Mr. Zhang to pace himself, he moves slowly to pick up a bamboo bank from his shelf.
多少也不知道。
1、2、3、4、5、6，2个月了。
没有，我和我母亲。
哦，你跟你妈妈的呀。
As the Tzu Chi volunteers come for scheduled care visits, they share Jingsi aphorisms with each care recipient, which makes Mr. Zhang very happy.
You all have one saying. I think it's know your blessings, cherish your blessings, and then create more blessings. I think that's a good one. That one really makes me feel fortunate.
祝你都幸福。
谢谢谢谢，感恩。
幸福来临了是吗？
The United States is known as a melting pot, and Tzu Chi volunteers in the United States also welcome members of diverse ethnic backgrounds. Later, we'll join volunteers in San Dimas, California, in a year-end celebration as they welcome a new class of Tzu Chi volunteers to the family. But first, let's take a look at a year-end celebration held by the West Toronto Liaison office.
In one area, festive Chinese songs are heard. In another, a musical performance by Canadian First Nations. At the Tzu Chi year-end celebration in Toronto, Canada, performances of different ethnicity can be experienced. Tzu Chi volunteers perform the 37 practices of enlightenment to pass on the Dharma through signing, in hopes that people remember to hold compassion and kindness in their hearts as they interact with one another.
It's been Tzu Chi volunteers who have brought comfort and hope to people, who have brought the essentials, food, bedding, clothing, the things that people need after a disaster to get back up on their feet.
And the effectiveness with which your organization taps into the channels of love and compassion and mobilizes very quickly to help those that are in such dire need.
In parts of watching the year-end review, I was in tears. It was very, very moving.
Tzu Chi volunteers aren't just Taiwanese people nor Chinese people. A Tzu Chi volunteer can be anyone, as long as one is in line with Tzu Chi's ideals. Everyone is welcome to join Tzu Chi.
Tzu Chi volunteers lead the audience of nearly 900 to light up the lamp of the heart and pray for a world full of peace and harmony. Meanwhile, in the United States, volunteers gather at the Jingsi Hall at the U.S. Tzu Chi headquarters to hold a year-end celebration. On this day, the Tzu Chi family is getting new members. Among them are Lori Ostrander and her husband. The couple received Tzu Chi's assistance in 2012 when their home in San Diego was caught up in a big fire and now transformed from being recipients to volunteers.
I'm here today because of all of you. So I give many thanks from my heart to each and every one of you, and thank you, Master Chen Yan.
Unable to return to Taiwan to receive their certification, these new volunteers still joyfully begin their new path in life with the blessings of other senior Tzu Chi volunteers.
Today's ceremony marks a new beginning for me. I know I still have so much to learn from the other Tzu Chi brothers and sisters.
I started out as a Tzu Qing, so I hope that I can be a mentor to the next generation of Tzu Qings.
The celebration included a delicious vegetarian banquet. Despite being far away from Taiwan, volunteers in the United States and Canada can still enjoy the Lunar New Year in style.
In early celebration of the upcoming Lunar New Year, Tzu Chi volunteers around the island have started holding year-end reunion banquets for care recipients in their communities. Let's take a look at a year-end reunion banquet held in Banqiao, New Taipei City, and凤林, Hualien.
Here in Hualien, Tzu Chi volunteers made sure to pick up care recipients with mobility issues so they can join the year-end reunion banquet held at the Jingsi Hall in鳳林. Volunteers work as a team in the kitchen, ensuring that the care recipients can feel their efforts in each dish they make. Two auspicious God of Fortune lead others in bringing out the dishes, while a Jingsebo Dharma master hands out blessings to each care recipient.
This isn't just a delicious meal to eat, but also we hope to bring about fortune and blessings to the care recipients. The most important for us to pass on is still spiritual sustenance of the soul.
Care recipients take a moment to pray for blessings not only for themselves but also the world. Mr. Lin, who has 2 children to take care of despite being out of work due to his spinal injury, finds Tzu Chi's financial assistance a godsend.
Tzu Chi brothers and sisters have really helped me. Otherwise, honestly, I wouldn't be standing here today.
Meanwhile, Tzu Chi volunteers are holding their annual year-end reunion banquet at the Tzu Chi Banqiao grounds. Care recipient Miss Swin has brought her 3 children who are eager to donate their filled coin banks and love. Miss Swin is in full support of the children's decision to donate.
We have received help from others, so we need to reciprocate.
Though the distribution was held on one of the coldest days in Taiwan, the Jingsi Hall in Banqiao was warmed with the love of the volunteers and the hairstylists giving people a free haircut. Free medical services were also available on site, where Miss Bai seized the occasion to have a Chinese medicine doctor treat her old hand injury.
It's some decades-old nerve pinch that was left untreated. It feels a bit sore. It is probably working.
Being able to give is not the privilege of the rich, but the privilege of the sincere. At the distribution event, volunteers not only wish to give material goods, but also continue the cycle of love in hopes that everyone could have a joyous and auspicious new year.
In the fierce winter in Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers have mobilized to provide the homeless with winter supplies and safeguard their health. While some volunteers have been giving out winter supplies to the homeless on the streets, some TIMA members have worked together with the Ren'an Homeless Social Welfare Foundation to hold another monthly free clinic for the homeless in Taoyuan.
When winter weather strikes, some are busy looking for snow. Others are busy avoiding the rain. But these volunteers are busy looking out for others. Sleeping through these cold temperatures, even a single bowl of hot soup can help these homeless make it through the night. When Tzu Chi volunteers heard that homeless people were staying at Banqiao's sports stadium, they were quick to lend a helping hand.
Have this sleeping bag. Also, here is a sweater for you.
As soon as they finish here, the Tzu Chi volunteers canvass a nearby park and street corners, searching for those out in the cold.
The composition of Taiwan's homeless population includes a lot of people with substance abuse problems, a lot who have been abandoned by their families.
I think everyone has their own story. What they really need is someone to listen to them. We cannot recognize that they need our help.
Once a month for 6 years now, the Ren'an Homeless Social Welfare Foundation of Taichung and TIMA have been offering these free clinics.
Since most of the homeless don't have health insurance, and live on the margins of society. They really need us to come to them. For their sake, we have to be compassionate.
They all know going to see a doctor without any money is quite difficult. So a lot of them will just think, I'll just put up with it. They will never get treatment until they collapse on the street and an ambulance arrives.
Mr. Hu is here receiving treatment for lacerations to his left foot and for a very serious case of dermatitis.
There's only one thing on my mind I want to say. If it weren't for Tzu Chi, I wouldn't be alive today.
For 8 years and counting, the Ren An Homeless Social Welfare Foundation of Taoyuan has been committed to holding the free clinics once every month as well. From the beginning, the clinics sought to find a family doctor that could offer all-around patient care for the homeless. Dr. Chen Yanglin responded to the call.
After all these years of seeing the homeless come for consultations, it always makes me think, what does it really mean to be a doctor? What's the real value? If we didn't have these clinics for the homeless, I may never have the opportunity to realize the true meaning of being a doctor. That's why every time I come here, I'm really grateful to all of them.
Next, let's take a look at an 11-year-old boy from Pakistan who struggles to continue his education as a refugee in Malaysia. Thanks to Tzu Chi's assistance, the boy and his siblings finally get to fulfill their school day dreams.
I want to become computer engineer.
Malaysia is home to many refugees seeking safety from religious or political persecution. The Hussein family from Pakistan is among them. They originally expected their children could easily resume school after arriving in Malaysia. However, the children's path to education was filled with obstacles due to their refugee status and the family's economic hardship.
We have to go to Malaysia. We expect that our children's education is good. But when we come here, there is no schools for our children. My children wants to go to school. They say, Mama, all children, in our building, all children are going to school. We are not going to school. Why?
After her children stayed home for an entire year, the mother, Aroja, finally found a school that would accept them. Though the distance of the school was 35 kilometers away from their house, the 4 children would still travel there each day, with the first leg of the journey by bicycle and then a bus for the rest of the way.
In my years of home visitations, these 4 children are the most determined and most eager to learn.
Unable to afford the school tuition, the children were forced to drop out. After a thorough investigation, Tzu Chi volunteers knew they had to step in to help. Happy to return to school once more, the 4 children were up bright and early, waiting for the volunteers' arrival. Making sure they know the way, the children's father accompanies them to school. Concentrating in class, the Hussein children know this chance to go to school once more was hard to come by. Therefore, they seize all moments for learning in hopes to make the volunteers proud of them.
Ahead of the Lunar New Year, 40 Tzu Chi volunteers visited care recipients in贡寮, New Taipei City. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. See you next week.